Peppa Pig Dentist Trip. Every morning, Peppa and George brush their teeth. Scrub, scrub, scrub. George, are your teeth as clean as mine? Peppa asks, showing off her clean white teeth. You both have lovely clean teeth. I'm sure the dentist will be happy, calls out Daddy Pig. Later that day, Peppa and George are at the dentist's, waiting for their checkup. It is George's first visit. Peppa, George, the dentist will see you now, says Miss Rabbit the nurse. Hooray! They both cheer. This is Dr. Elephant, the dentist. Who is first? He asks. I'm first, replies Peppa. I'm a big girl. Watch me, George. Open wide, please, orders Dr. Elephant softly. Ah! Peppa opens her mouth as wide as she possibly can. Let's take a look, says the dentist, checking Peppa's teeth with a mirror. There, all done. What lovely clean teeth. Cheers, Dr. Elephant. Now you can have the special drink. Gargle. Choo! Peppa spits the pink liquid out into the sink. It's George's turn next. George does not want it to be his turn, so the dentist lets him hold Mr. Dinosaur. All done. You have very strong clean teeth, George, smiles Dr. Elephant. But wait, what is this? Cries Dr. Elephant. George has clean teeth, but this young dinosaur's teeth are very dirty. The water jet, please, Miss Rabbit, orders the dentist. He uses the water to clean Mr. Dinosaur's teeth. Pink, cries George, picking up a glass. That's right, George, says the dentist. Mr. Dinosaur needs some special pink drink. Gurgle, gurgle. Gosh, what shiny teeth you have, Mr. Dinosaur, cries Miss Rabbit. Dinosaur, grrr, snorts George. George loves Mr. Dinosaur, especially now that he has nice clean teeth. Peppa Pig Bedtime for Peppa. One evening, Peppa and George are finishing their dinner. It is almost bedtime, but the little piggies are not sleepy. Can we play outside for just a tiny bit? Peppa asks. All right, says Daddy Pig, but you must come in when we call you for your bath. Peppa and George go outside to play one last game before bedtime. Look, George, cries Peppa, lots of muddy puddles. Peppa and George like jumping up and down in muddy puddles. Splish, splosh. Peppa, George, calls Daddy Pig. Bath time. Peppa and George run home in their muddy boots. Squish, squash. We found the biggest muddy puddle in the world, cries Peppa. Are you and George feeling sleepy? Asks Daddy Pig. No, Daddy, says Peppa. We are not even a tiny bit sleepy. Before bedtime, Peppa and George take their bath. Peppa likes splashing. George likes splashing too. Ho ho, that's enough splashing, says Daddy Pig. Let's get you into your pajamas. Oh, can't we stay in the bath a little bit longer? Peppa asks. Bath time is over. says Daddy Pig. Before going to bed, Peppa and George brush their teeth. Brush, brush, brush. Okay, that's enough brushing, says Mummy Pig. Oh, but I think our teeth need a little bit more cleaning, says Peppa. When you are in bed, Daddy Pig will read you a story, Mummy tells them. Peppa and George like stories. They hurry into their beds. When Peppa goes to bed, she always has her teddy tucked in with her. When George goes to bed, he always has Mr. Dinosaur tucked in with him. Are you feeling sleepy now? Daddy Pig asks. No, Daddy, Peppa says. We need lots and lots of stories. Daddy will read you one story, says Mummy Pig. Which story would you like? The Red Monkey book, please, says Peppa. Peppa and George like the Red Monkey book. So Daddy Pig reads them the story of the Red Monkey. Once upon a time there was a red monkey. He had all sorts of adventures. After every adventure, this red monkey would take a bath, brush his teeth, and go to sleep. When Daddy Pig finishes the story, Peppa and George are fast asleep. Good night, Peppa. Sweet dreams. Peppa Pig. Fun at the fair. Today, Peppa and her family are at the fun fair. Snort, slidey, slidey, giggles George. George wants to go on the helter-skelter, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig and George head off to the helter-skelter. Roll up, cries Miss Rabbit. Hook a duck and win a giant teddy. I will try to win one for you, Peppa, says Mummy Pig. But I don't think it's that easy. It's impossible, laughs Miss Rabbit. We will see about that, cries Mummy Pig. Sploosh! Mummy Pig has hooked a duck. Hooray! Cheers, Peppa. That's amazing, cries Miss Rabbit. Here is your giant teddy. Wouldn't you like a little teddy instead, Peppa? No way, giggles Peppa happily. George and Daddy Pig are at the helter-skelter. It's a bit high, George. Are you sure you want to have a go? Asks Daddy Pig. George giggles and runs up the stairs to the top. It's a bit too high and George starts to cry. Don't worry, George, I will come up with you, says Daddy Pig. Wee! Cries George, sliding all the way down the helter-skelter. Now George is having too much fun to be scared. It is a bit high, says Daddy Pig nervously. Daddy Pig is more scared than George. Oops, Daddy Pig slips down the slide. Whoa! Peppa and Mummy Pig are at the hit the target stall. You can do that easily, Mummy, says Peppa. Ho ho, you won't win, laughs Mr. Labrador. Women are useless at this. What did you say? Says Mummy Pig crossly. She picks up the bow and arrow and aims. Whoosh! The arrow hits the target right in the middle. Mummy Pig wins again. Unbelievable, cries Mr. Labrador. Here is your teddy. Hooray! Cheers, Peppa. Now she has 2 giant teddies. Teddy Pig and George are riding on the big wheel. George loves it, but Daddy Pig is a little bit scared. This really is high, says Daddy Pig as the big wheel goes round and round. Hee snort, giggles George. Daddy Pig and George find Peppa and Mummy Pig. Hit this button with a hammer, says Mr. Bull. If the bell rings, you win a prize. I will have a go, says Daddy Pig. Stand back. I think you are a bit wobbly from the big wheel, says Mummy Pig. Ho ho, laughs Mr. Bull. Daddy Pig is looking a bit shaky. What? Says Mummy Pig crossly. Give me that hammer. Whack! Mummy Pig hits the button as hard as she can. The bell rings loudly. Ding ding ding. Everyone is very impressed. Mummy Pig wins all the giant teddies at the fair. Hooray! Cheers Peppa, and she gives all of her friends one giant teddy bear each. Hooray! Everyone cheers. We love fun fairs. Peppa Pig, George's first day at Playgroup. Today is George's first day at Playgroup. Isn't George too small for Playgroup? Asks Peppa. You can look after him, says Daddy Pig. Peppa isn't sure she wants George at her playgroup, but she likes the idea of looking after him. Are you sure George is big enough? Peppa asks when they arrive. Yes, he will be fine, replies Daddy Pig. Okay, he can come, says Peppa. She holds on to George's hand. Grunt, grunt, snorts George, jumping up and down. Here is Madame Gazelle, Peppa's playgroup teacher. She looks after Peppa and her friends. Madame Gazelle tells the children that George is coming to play. The children are all very excited about meeting Peppa's little brother. This is my little brother George, cries Peppa. Grrr, dinosaur, growls George. Everyone laughs. I wish I had a little brother like George, baa's Susie Sheep. George shakes his toy Mr. Dinosaur at Madame Gazelle. Grrr, dinosaur. Ah, really scary, laughs Madame Gazelle. Peppa is proud of George making everyone laugh. George is my little brother. He is brilliant, she says. Shall we show George how we paint pictures? Madame Gazelle asks the children. George is not very good at painting, says Peppa, but I can show him how to paint a flower. Watch me, George, snorts Peppa. First you paint a big circle. Peppa carefully dips her brush into a pot of pink paint and draws a big pink circle right in the middle of her paper. George draws a big green circle. No, George, that's the wrong color, snorts Peppa. Watch me. Peppa makes yellow petal shapes. George paints a green zigzag. George, that's the wrong shape, says Peppa. Peppa admires her flower painting. Perfect, she says happily. George is still painting. Instead of a stalk and leaves, he has painted another circle with 5 lines sticking out from it. You are doing it all wrong, says Peppa. I have painted a flower, says Peppa. Very good, Peppa, smiles Madame Gazelle. And look, George has painted a dinosaur. Madame Gazelle sticks Peppa and George's pictures on the wall. Now it is time to go home. What will you paint next time, George? Asks Madame Gazelle. Dinosaur, grrr, giggles George. Everyone laughs.